Bitcoin miners are in trouble. Michael Saylor makes the smallest purchase of BTC ever. Two big rumors with the Ripple SEC case that you need to hear. XP price talk at the end. Happy Monday, everyone.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Hola, mi amigos, it's Dora, and BTC demand is drying up. But before we get into that and the Ripple SEC big rumors you need to hear, I do your comments, because you, the viewer, matter most. Doran Butler, dropping support on the channel. Thank you, kind sir. Says, hope for the best, train for the rest. That's right, I'm going to be getting back into training here in the next few days. Bots, holy crap, you see it up on the screen? I woke up this morning and cleared out over 300 bot comments that came in while I was sleeping. Come on, let me sleep in. Zemriel says, Michael Saylor is a crypto dinosaur. Klaus, you are the man. As a layman who is new to the crypto sphere, I love the way you break down crypto economics with a touch of humor and naughtiness. Still the realest channel on YouTube. Keep up the good work. God bless you and choo bitches. Well, thank you so much. One last comment we get in the news, and it's FOMH, LMFAO, says, hold on, April showers bring May flowers. We got to get to April 1st. We're still in the middle of March, and happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Bitcoin sitting at 82,220, ETH 1903, Sol 127.8 at 72 cents, BNB at 625, XRP at 233, Pi deep in the red at 135, while XLM is what, everyone? 27.2. Oh, Bitcoin demand falls to its lowest level in 27 months. I highlighted yesterday the falling demand of the ETFs, the institutional one getting away. But now the overall BTC demand is starting to follow in. We know how it works. As much as we hate it, BTC tugs the market up and down with it. As of March 17th, the 30-day average Bitcoin apparent demand had fallen to 152,000 BTC to the negative side, its lowest level since December of 2023. For the unversed, the apparent demand is an on-chain metric that gauges the balance between new BTC production and changes in long-term holding. Basically, they're producing new stuff, but there's not the demand for it. Speaking of stuff going down, oh my gosh. Has the bubble burst? Is Saylor out of money? Huge panic mode news here for BTC maxis, because Saylor's bags and dry powder, man, dried up. Michael Saylor's strategy makes the smallest BTC purchase on record. Okay, as prices are super low compared to what we've seen recently, wouldn't you think you'd spend more money on that? Probably, right? But remember, Saylor was buying at 105,000, 109,000, 100,000, and now he only buys 160 BTC. Let's learn. Strategy on March 17th. Hey, that's today. Breaking news. Hit that subscribe button. Officially announced its latest 130 BTC acquisition, bought for around 10 million in cash for a price of 82,981. The latest BTC purchase was made using the proceeds from the STRK ATM Strategy's new program to raise up to 21 million. Essentially, they're selling future debt. And what's happening is you only can buy BTC with the future debt that you sell. So if you don't sell a lot of future debt, well, you don't have the money to buy then, do you? Now, this is the smallest on record since the company announced its first purchase of 21,000 BTC in August 2020. Here's that filing from Strategy, and yeah, it's all linked in the description below, along with Saylor giving us some stats. Listen to these stats, okay? Strategy has acquired 130 BTC for 10.7 million at 82,000 plus. Now, listen to these numbers. We hold 499,000 BTC acquired for 33 billion at a price of 66,000 per Bitcoin. So he's got some greenage here, but not a lot, right? His profits are eroding, and it appears his dry powder is eroding because what the hell are you going to do with the 130 BTC? Dude, you've been buying like 15, 20,000 at a clip. Saylor running out of money? Bubble bursting? Bitcoin miners hit rock bottom. Valuation slipped below key averages. Well, this isn't good because if the miners aren't making money, what does that mean? It means they have to sell the Bitcoin that they mine right away. And if the first article that I shared with you says that, guess what? They're mining more than what the demand is. Oh, shit. That means the supply and demand dynamic is off kilter and getting worse. Bitcoin hash rate. A key measure, mining difficulty, climbed to an average of 811, up 35% year over year, with more miners getting it. Mining stocks have taken it on the chin. From February 28th to March 15th, the combined market cap of the 14 U.S. listed miners that JP Morgan tracks fell 13%. One miner outperformed Bitcoin's price movement in that span, Cipher Mining. They led the losers, dropping 25%. So now you got the miners bleeding out. You got Sailor buying less. And you have the demand for BTC drying up. So where is all that money going? Stablecoins. Yes, yes, yes. And remember, stablecoins are going to get the regs first this year. Yeah, you want to bet me on that? You want to lose some money? You want to fund maybe a little bit of weekend shenanigans for Klaus by taking me on this bet? Comment down below and maybe we'll set something up. Stablecoin liquidity could indicate that investors are selling their volatile assets to preserve capital, and that is exactly what's happening. Look at the stablecoin market cap. It has blown up since the 30th of October, okay? October 30th, all right? We were at 173 billion for stablecoin market cap. We're now at 230 billion roughly. That's a big, big change. So players are getting out of the risky stuff and they're parking it into stables, USDT, USDC, and so forth, right? Now, the miners, they're losing money. There's more competition. And remember, with the halving, they work, but now are getting paid half. It'd be like you working a 40-hour work week. And when you look at your check online, I almost said when you open up your check, but who the hell gets paper checks anymore? But you go online and you're like, oh shit, I only got paid for 20 hours. Yeah, that's what's happening. So the miners are making less. Sailor's big buys seem to be drying up. And what's really weird about this is my guy was making big purchases while the price was mega, mega high. So now what's going on? All right, let's get to those Ripple SEC rumors. There's two of them going on right now. The first is that they're going to wipe the fine out, if not make it super, super, super small so that it is just a fine just for the sake of it being a fine, right? One of the most significant revelations came from that it implies that XRP could be viewed similarly to assets like Bitcoin, saying that XRP is a commodity. That would be great. Why? Because then it wouldn't fall under the purvey of the SEC. It would be bad because of tax reasons, okay? So that's the number one rumor. The number two rumor is the fine. Remember, Gensler asked for $2 billion. Ripple was like, no, I don't think so. I think they came back with like 12 million or something like that. Then the judge was like, look, 125 million. But now that the situations have changed, right, with the regs in the United States, now we might be looking at a super, super small fine, if a zero fine at all. So the big news is now is trying to figure out how do they do this legally, because remember, we haven't navigated these waters before. You got the SEC going after something which may be clarified as a commodity. You've got a fine imposed on a company, because remember, the judge was like, yo, you did some things wrong with primary sales, we're going to fine you. The judge now is looking at it going, well, wait a minute. If the laws are changing, does this even really hold any water? Should we waste any more resources on it? And remember, you're not going to hear anything for a little bit. Why? Well, because the next court date isn't for a little bit either. So that's why there's no mega rush to do these announcements with the case and make it official, is because the next court date in their appeals filing isn't here yet. So, minimized, if not a zero fine, and XRP being considered a commodity, which means the SEC shouldn't even have touched it in the first place. That's like you going to your personal doctor, right? Let's say you're a chick and you're going to the OBGYN person, and that person's a dentist. You're like, whoa, this isn't even in your backyard of specialties. That's what happened here. The SEC was like, yo, I'm a gyno, and you're like, no, you're a fucking dentist. No, I treat that too. And you're like, no, you're not. That's what's happening. And because this is unprecedented, because the whole change with leadership with Trump in the United States and the 180 that we've seen with crypto, well, no kidding. That's why we've never done this before. That's why it's taken time. And because the deadline isn't here yet. United States likes to wait till the last minute. Talk XRP price. Volume, 3.74 billion. It was a really slow weekend on Sunday. Price action, not bad. We're hanging out at 232 right now. overall though, all right? Overall with XRP, we're kind of sitting here going, okay, this is cool, but we need more. And that's what the market's in right now. And that's what you're saying right now. You're like, but bro, this is not good with Bitcoin. You're right. It's not good with Bitcoin. It's not good with Michael Saylor hardly buying anything. It's not good that the miners are in trouble and that there's a lot of competition. It's not good that there's a lot of buildup of stablecoins on the sidelines as they've been getting out of risk assets. And with all that in mind, XRP is 232. So think about all those negative things I just described to you, and yet the price is still good. I know, Klaus. We've been to 375, we've been high. I know, I get that. But you're not always going to have rocket ship ATHs, right? That's why it's called an all-time high, not an everyday high. Oh, hey, what do you do during your personal time? So with all these bad things going on with the market, XRP is still holding very strong. Zoom out to the 1 month and check this out. See exactly what I'm talking about. The pumps and oscillations, the life that's breathed into XRP. And it's not just the price life, it's the volume life. So XRP is staying relevant during this. And in fact, watch this. I saved this gem for last. In fact, look at XRP and let's do some comparisons here, okay? XRP, over the last 90 days is down 3%. Not good, but basically going sideways, right? Bitcoin down 21% in that same time. ETH down 52, Sol down 40, Doge 57. These are not good numbers, everyone. XLM down 35, HBAR down 33, Avalanche down 62%. So you can see XRP is faring the best during this recent pullback of the market. XRP is also staying relevant, and we also have juicy ETF news on the horizon. We're also going to get the case resolution coming up here very soon, and I'll share that with you, so make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. We also have economic indicators. The macro is not looking so hot, and yet XRP is still holding its own better than the rest of the crypto market. In fact, watch this, okay? We're going to compare XRP to Bitcoin, and I've got the 1-year chart up on the screen. Whoa. See, for the majority of the year, BTC in orange was beating XRP. Then all of a sudden you get the election news and it changes. And BTC hasn't really done that much since the election news in terms of percentage gains. So I understand that when you look at the price, you're like, oh, this really sucks, man. I really wish we had better price action. I really wish we were at the $3 mark. Trust me, I get that. I totally get that. 1-day chart up on the screen, by the way. And we did. We had plenty of times from $3. January 15th all the way through to February 1st. But as the market pulls back, XRP is pulling back the least. As the macros suck, XRP is sucking the least. As money is being pulled out of the crypto economy and being thrown into stables, right, for safety, XRP is still holding its price. So although the news isn't good across the overall crypto market, XRP is still one of the top performers out there, doing better than almost every other frickin' crypto in the top 20. So keep that in mind next time you look at the charts and you're like, oh man, 233 sucks for XRP. You're right, it does suck because we've seen $3. But at least we're not down 55% like Link, 57% like Doge, 40% like Solana. So when you look at it, XRP is also one of the very few that's in the green year to date. Check it out. That's this column right here. XRP year to date up 11%. The only other one that's up in the last top 20, LEO. So XRP holding strong while the market starts to suffer. So we are in some unprecedented times right now when it comes to crypto regs, and we are seeing a huge shift in regulatory policy. That's why you're seeing the XRP Ripple SEC case take so much time, and it's also because the deadline isn't here yet. And you know how the United States is, we wait all up into the last second, and then we make the moves, just like dogs spazzing out. I think Zoe's outside. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Zoe was outside, and of course my dogs had to greet her. But we're in uncharted waters, and there's no deadline right here, so of course the United States government isn't going to act fast, and we have to figure out how to unravel this whole ball of wine to begin with. If the SEC wasn't the one to be regulating XRP, Then we have to start looking at the whole case and going, oh, God, this wasn't even your jurisdiction. What the hell do we do with this? Do we then fine the SEC for their overreach? Oh, that's a great idea. So I'm looking at the whole market and I'm like, macros, not good. BTC news, not good. And the reason I bring up a lot of the BTC news is we see how BTC tugs the market up and down. So if BTC isn't doing good, it's putting a lot of pressure overall on the crypto market. Having some issues with a little bit of minor profitability, that's also putting pressure on the market because they're going to sell the BTC directly. It's not like they sell other things. They're selling the BTC, which puts more pressure on the alts. That's why stables are rising. And stables are going to get the regs ahead of all of this. And that's why people are parking their money in stables, because you can earn a juicy yield while waiting. So I know the news is a little bit of mixed bag, some good, some bad, but that's how life is. Not like the hopium channels out there that tell you, oh, everything is all sunshine and rainbows. $40,000 XRP. Ooh, XRP used to move all the money in the world. No. It's still a speculative asset. We need the regs to come in so we can get better clarity so businesses and banks can know what the hell to do with this stuff. So until we get those regs in, which is going to come after the stable coins, we might be in a little weird holding pattern, especially with macros being the way they are. And the thing that scared me the most this morning was reading Strategy's announcement regarding their 130 BTC. That's not a good sign. It's almost like he was like, yo, we got to keep buying to make people think that we're into it, but we don't have that money to buy a lot. So we're just going to buy a little bit. Now, let me ask you a question. When crypto prices are low, do you buy more? Or do you buy more when the prices are high? Because what we've seen with Sailor is, my guy bought all the time. He wasn't strategic about his buying. And it also appears that Sailor might be out of that dry powder. 130 BTC purchase for 10 million? Girlfriend, maybe the problem is people aren't getting into your whole strategy after all. With strategy, like what I did there. So as the news breaks, I'll be sure to share with you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out. I am back at home, obviously. Back from the race. My body's a little beat up, but I'll recover from it. Hopefully I get more good news to share with you. And hopefully Jerome Powell doesn't pee in our Cheerios. Or our corned beef for all of those Irish fans out there that are cooking. My house smells good already. Corned beef and cabbage. Love it. Choo choo, bitches.